So it's just going over the difference between inclusive media and accessible media. Inclusive media being just featuring articles and photos of people with disabilities in a rights-based way. Accessible media and the distribution method of those information, of that story. So I'm going to talk a little bit about examples from other countries of ways that media, the Election Commission, and civil society have all worked together to make sure that people with disabilities are portrayed in a rights-based way during the political process. So the first example that I'll talk about is from Libya, where they did a campaign called As You Are, We Are through social media. And so this was all available on Facebook and Twitter and featured images of people with disabilities as equal citizens, participating in voting, in serving as members of political parties, as well as running for office. And the reason behind this campaign was that they found, even though Libya has ratified the CRPD, there was very little knowledge about disability rights, both among people with disabilities themselves, but also more broadly within the citizenship, family members and community members. And in Libya, as in many other countries, often family members and community members are the biggest barrier to equal participation. So this campaign that they did via social media, which also has the benefit of being free, was really targeting the general public more so than people with disabilities. Something that's been spoken about a lot in the last session was the need for accessible information, in particular in sign language. So one of the things that we've very recently completed is an Arabic sign language lexicon. So we found that in Arabic sign language, many words and key terms related to elections and to voting didn't exist. So if these key words related to elections and political participation were not available in sign language, there's an even bigger barrier for this community to participate equally in political life. So we went through and have completed a lexicon that's available in sign language, Arabic, French, and in English that shows how you sign the key terms as well as the definition of those key terms. And that's available as an app for your smartphone, and it's also available on YouTube. And so this is something that's very brand new, hot off the press, and I hope everyone here will find this useful. We're also just now beginning to do trainings with journalists and making sure that they're aware of this tool and of how they can use it in their work. In Kosovo, the Election Commission formed a collaborative working group that was comprised of journalists, of disabled persons organizations, as well as election management bodies, and they're working on a broad range of issues, media being one of them in particular. And one of the first things that they did when they developed this working group is they developed a media strategy. And this was their plan for how they would collaborate and coordinate, most importantly, all of the media messages that they found were important around elections and around disability. One of the key things that it included was training for media representatives on how to cover stories featuring people with disabilities from a rights-based perspective rather than from a charity-based perspective or showing people with disabilities as objects of pity. And this was something that was coordinated between the journalists, the Election Commission, and the disabled persons organizations. So they all used their different communication streams to put these coordinated messages out at the same time.